Marianne.
Hello.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi. How are
Welcome.
you? Hi, Renu.
Guys, today is going to be a very interesting conversation. In our previous live conversation, we've learned about Georgian era, Victorian era, Art Deco era. Well, today it's our privilege to have Marianne Fisher, who is co-founder and managing director of the Jeweler Circle, and who is also the fifth generation owner and principal of Paul Fisher INC. And Marianne is going to be talking to us about gold jewelry and the style through the decades. So, Marianne, thank you so much. And we look forward to learning all about gold jewelry and the style through the decades with you.
Thank you for having us here.
Pleasure is all ours. So, ever since I posted about my live conversation with the Jeweler Circle, I have received quite a few questions from the audience asking what is this platform and how does this platform work? So, can you please take us through about what is Jeweler Circle and the key highlight points about this platform?
Okay, so basically we created the Jewelers Circle basically because of the pandemic. Last March, when everything got shut down, we had to move quickly to figure out a way to do business, not in this old-fashioned way of exhibitions and dealing person to person. So a group of us, well-renowned vintage jewelers across the world, joined together and created what we call now the Jewelers Circle. And it is designed to create a marketplace on the internet. So we have a platform where we can buy, sell, and source merchandise just for the trade. It's a B2B platform. Because it's made by the trade, our motto is by the trade, for the trade. And we know what the needs of the trade are, so we created it to cater to basically our industry.
Please highlight some of the key important points about this platform.
Okay, well, it's a virtual space, and every dealer or subscriber has their own gallery. And that gallery gets posted and they can upload several photos, videos, certificates. And that is a place for visitors and other trade professionals to come onto the platform and source different merchandise from all different, not just vintage. We have also loose stones, gemstones, diamonds, newly manufactured designer jewelry. The great part about this platform, it's international. It covers almost everything from, again, gemstones to vintage to new designer. But it's a one-stop shopping. So it gives the world a network, and it's all secured. So these prices and all the pieces on this network are not exposed on the World Wide Web. Also, we have no idea. We don't control what the transactions are between dealer and visitor. So it's all private. There are no commissions. It's subscription-based.
Oh, that's very interesting. So you mentioned you have from gemstones, diamonds, pearls, vintage jewelry to modern jewelry. You have all the different aspects about, of jewelry under one platform. So it's actually a one-stop shop for all your jewelry pieces. That's interesting. And talking about jewelry, can you highlight like what kind of jewelry can be found on the platform?
So, for example, I think one of the key factors for this, the success of the Jewelers Circle is the rarity. We have pieces that are so spectacular, great Cartier pieces from the Deco era, possibly, you can find cashmere sapphires, you can find Burma rubies, Golconda diamonds. We have it all. Basically, it's really becoming a place, probably the only platform that exists today to source really fine, rare jewelry. But we also have deco, simple bracelets. We have straight line bracelets. We have new designers. It's really basically a marketplace for everything. So but we are renowned for the very rare pieces and unusual.
Yes, and we're looking forward to seeing all these rare pieces which are on your platform.
Yes.
And in my previous conversation, we learned about Art Deco, where we know that platinum was the most important metal. And taking forward from Art Deco, let's talk about gold, because that's the main conversation that we are in here for. So tell us that how did gold evolve as a metal post the Art Deco period?
Right. Well, I guess you're aware that platinum was only introduced in 1900. And so
Right.
because for the Art Deco period, it was so important to work with this new metal that is very difficult to work with. It was the focal point of the 1900s to 1939. Everybody used platinum. It was, as you know, for Art Deco, the prominent metal. But then came the war. And because of the war effort, all platinum went to the war effort. So
Right.
that's when all of the designers and artisans, mostly all, France and America, started to use gold, and they
Hmm.
started to be creative with gold. For example, the obvious, there's 24 karat gold, which is pure gold, but then you have
Yes.
18 karat gold, you have 14 karat gold, you have 15 karat gold. But the difference is based on the alloys that are used with the gold. So, for
Interesting.
example, if you want to go to the 1940s, here is
Wow.
probably one of the greatest examples of 1940s. This, as you can see, if you can see carefully,
Yes.
it's rose gold and yellow gold. Now, this is an example of how they were creative by using different alloys to show using different colors of gold. But the
Wow.
really significant about this being 1940s and being wartime is this is
Hmm.
symbolic of the tanks that were being used during the war. So if you look at
Right.
it, it looks like the tracks of a tank. And that's
Wow.
why it's called a tank bracelet. But it's a
Lovely.
strong definition, very strong in definition and detail, very three-dimensional. It's a beautiful heavy bracelet, and it's called
Yes.
a tank bracelet
Yes.
because of the war.
Wow. And when you mention heavy, exactly what my next question was, that it looks like a big piece of chunky metal. So when you wear it on your wrist, like how heavy it is
It,
actually.
it's actually not for me. Again, it depends on which, of the 1940s. In the very beginning, like a bracelet like such as this, they used a lot of heavy gold, but very
Yes,
often, not all of it was heavy. Very often they stretched the gold out and made it, because of the
got
fact
it.
that basically it was wartime. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to use so much heavy gold. So they did a lot, they were very creative and stretched gold out. You'll see spray brooches, and you'll see beautiful pieces that are more articulate about the gold, about the craftsmanship of making the gold and how the design of it, rather than it being heavy. This particular tank bracelet is quite heavy. It's
Yes.
probably, was probably done, probably in the very beginning, or, depending on what era. This is probably American, or yeah, it's probably American.
Okay.
It's not French. But if you see an example, here
Mm-hmm.
is a rose gold, right?
Okay.
This is
Yes.
probably late 40s. This is quite light. Um,
Yes.
and so you can see here carefully,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same, a very, very geometric form, but
Yes.
but it's hollow inside.
Yes,
This, and
absolutely.
yeah,
Right.
but this is
Mm-hmm.
all rose gold, and so they're using different alloys in order to make the design different.
Interesting. So may I request you to hold both the bracelets together so we can
Sure.
get a clear picture about the difference in the
Yes.
making, during the same period. Wow. Yes, we can clearly see the difference now. Interesting.
Yeah.
So talking about the jewelry trends in the retro period, we would love to see what retro style jewelry is there on Jewelers Circle. And also please talk to us about the different design characteristics and how the gold jewelry evolved during the entire retro period.
Okay. So here's an amazing example. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is a 1940s French necklace. Those are each individual strands of gold. They're not put together.
Wow.
It has movement. You can see the tassel on the bottom actually moves. Now I'm going to show
Wow.
you an example. The centerpiece comes off and becomes a brooch as well. So you can see the
Mm-hmm.
pave diamonds in the center. But what's
Yes.
spectacular, the versatility, to be able to
Mm-hmm.
have a brooch and to have a
Right.
necklace. It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's so elegant that, the whole idea of the tassel and the movement and the
Wow.
brace and the gold work.
Mm-hmm.
It's really the craftsmanship. The French were really the best. They just made beautiful jewelry. It's
Yes.
all handmade, and none of it,
Wow.
it's all, they think it through a piece of jewelry, thinking that it's to make it as a brooch and as a necklace, which is
Right.
unusual.
Lovely.
Here's another example, very strong example of,
Oh, yes.
this is Cartier. This is 1940s. They often used, again, because of the war period, they weren't
Yes.
always focused on the gemstones. They focused on, so this is citrine. It's basically regular, there's two colors citrines. And
Yes.
so the accent of the two different colors makes it
Mm-hmm.
much more a bold. It's all about the design and about the beauty. It's like art. So it's
Right.
using different colors, but not with expensive stones, but just it's the
Oh, I see.
craftsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a clip brooch, which you could wear on a lapel, or you could wear on the center of a necklace. But it's very
Mm-hmm.
versatile. Again, very geometric in form here. And
Mm-hmm.
Cartier was renowned for this kind of design with different color citrines.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So here you mentioned that not expensive gemstones. So these gemstones more popular during the retro period, like these
Well,
semi-precious stones,
the
is it?
problem was during the war. How did they most of the colored stones like rubies, sapphires, emeralds, they came from other countries. So in
Right.
Europe and America, if they wanted to, you'll see, for example, you'll see a lot of aquamarine jewelry. You'll see citrine. You'll see stones that get accessible because during the war they couldn't bring it over from Asia. There was, there were
Right.
every boat that came over, at 1 out of 5 were bombed. So you have to think about how dangerous it was to transport any stones from other
Right.
parts of the world. So they
Wow.
started using what you have in your own country. So it's why you'll find citrines, you'll find aquamarines. You will
Right.
even, believe it or not, sometimes in beautiful 40s jewelry, you'll find synthetic sapphires and synthetic
Really?
rubies. It was
Okay.
all about the beauty and the design and about the look, not so much about the quality of the stones. It's more about the craftsmanship and the design.
Mm-hmm.
And they were
Mm-hmm.
very, you look at a lot of the old movies, you'll see some spectacular, some pieces that are just fantastic, but it's all about the design and the gold.
Right.
Um, Look at these.
Yes. Yes, we can see the detailing. Yes, absolutely.
You see the fine work on the gold. Everything is
Yes.
hand done, and it
Wow.
almost feels like fabric. When you make a piece of jewelry like this, to the
Right.
touch, it feels like a great piece of fabric. Great
Fantastic.
quality. And if you see, this is by Raymond C. Yard, which is American. It's a pair
Mm-hmm.
of clips, and they really look
Yes.
like leaves. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
The with the articulation of the gold. You see, if you can
Right.
see it carefully.
Yes, we can
These are
see.
all, by the way, pieces you can find on the Jeweler's Circle.
Oh, interesting. You mean to say that people from the trade, they can actually buy these pieces?
Yes. All of the pieces that are on my phone right now, we have taken from the Jeweler's Circle. So
Okay.
here's an example of a fantastic sapphire suite from the 1940s. It's bracelet,
Mm-hmm.
necklace, and earrings. And this
Right.
is spectacular. This is really a strong example of
Yes.
1940s. The tassel lavalier necklace,
Yes.
the rope tubagus style of chain. Everything
Mm-hmm.
is very detailed, crafted. Here's a necklace. The necklace more clearly.
Fantastic. Just when you mention about designs, we know that Art Deco had a very geometric designs. So
Hmm.
highlight some of the design elements of the retro period.
So you get, obviously we use the tank as an example, but scroll, like scroll figures, like they basically, the key was to work cleverly with gold. The
Yes.
example is for example, here is a really strong 1940s bracelet.
Beautiful.
You see the scroll motif, and
Yes.
it's very three-dimensional, and it's got a lot
Right.
of depth, you can
Yes.
see the beauty. And this is
Mm-hmm.
an extraordinary bracelet, very strong in detail. It's more about the strength. You see beautiful large brooches in the 1940s, strong
Right.
bracelets.
Mm-hmm.
You see a huge amount of very powerful pieces. This is probably a better example. So you see the diamond
Such,
detail, the ruby
yes.
accent. Rubies were very
Wow.
popular. But they were accents, the rubies. It wasn't all about the large stones. It was more about the
Got it.
accents and giving color to the gold. And here's another. This is the bracelet laid out. So it looks like a bangle,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Yes, it
actually
does.
laid out. It's laid out. You can see how it lays out, and it goes completely flat. That's a sign of very good jeweler. That basically a piece that sits on your wrist as like a bangle,
Right.
but when you open it up, lays completely flat. It shows that it's well
Interesting.
made. These are spectacular. These are one of my favorites. These are a pair of
Mm-hmm.
1940s retro double
Mm-hmm.
clips, but they're
Yes.
Cartier, and they're really strong in design. Let me show you the individual piece. There you go. You can see these really well.
Fantastic. Yes.
And you see the calibre rubies.
Yes. Yes.
They're fantastic.
Everything has been so well thought about and so well crafted. And since you mentioned it's all handcrafted.
Yes, it's well,
Amazing.
everything is hand done, and it's also you'll find, for example, see this Van Cleef piece.
Yes.
This is also 1940s. If you look closely, the diamonds
Hmm.
are set like little stars, so it's
Yes,
sort
they
of
are.
that symbolic of like the patriot, the American patriot. So you'll
Got it.
find a lot of 40s jewelry from America with the diamonds set in sort of little stars.
Beautiful. Have any pieces with you which you would love to show us? Maybe something that you're wearing.
Yes. Well, here's an example of this is a really very well, here. This is probably a great example of 1940s. Here we go.
Hmm.
See this?
Yes. Great detailing. Hmm.
Yes. And you'll find it's very strong in geometric form, but later,
Yes.
like deco is also, but this is sort of now it's going into the gold, and focuses all on the gold work.
Lovely.
Diamonds, and you see the side. Everything's always finished off beautifully. Nothing is,
Yes.
even when you turn to the back, it's all solid. You see,
Wow.
and it's a substantial ring. We call these
It is.
cocktail rings.
Hmm.
Wear one even on a pinky, and it's a statement
Wow.
piece.
It's a huge chunky piece, right?
Yes, but it's very strong. If you put it on your finger,
Hmm.
it's got a very
There you
strong
go.
presence,
Yes, it does have. Yes. Hmm.
which I really like. I love 1940s is really it reminds me of the old movies. You feel like these really women where they wear hats and everything's elegant, and you
Yes.
just love the statement pieces
Yes.
always.
Yes. The pieces that you've shown us, they all are such conversation starter. Just wear that one piece of chunky bracelet or the
Yeah.
ring, and you walk inside a room, and I'm sure there'll be many heads turning around and asking you, hey, please share more details about this beautiful piece of jewelry that you're wearing.
But you're wearing a piece of history as well. When
That's
you
so well
feel
said.
it's
Hmm.
something that's a piece of history. I mean, we go even with gold. That's the great thing about gold. It's a great summer jewelry. You can wear it with anything. I mean, just
Right.
it's easy just to put on. Platinum and in silver. They're more evening. It's a little bit hard to wear, but gold is everyday jewelry. But it's elegant. And if you see things that are made beautifully, and what this is going back and look at this. This is
Lovely.
a locket,
Yes.
old mine diamonds and enamel. The heart was very popular in the Victorian period. So this is about 1880s,
Wow.
1890s. But
Hmm.
it's such a beautifully made. The work, the craftsmen. Look at the
Hmm.
spaces between the gold. It's all
Yes.
hand done. But the depth of the old mine diamonds makes it so significantly more beautiful. And
Yes.
it really looks. It gives it such a richness.
And could you please show the backside? Because I believe there is a lot of detailing on the backside.
Yeah.
And does this open up? Because since you mentioned
It does
Victorian
open.
era, oh, it
It does
does.
open. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I have to fiddle with it, but it does open.
Okay, that's fine. Interesting. The moment when you mentioned Victorian era, I did recall that most Victorian jewelry did have opening where people could either have
Yes.
some photos or some hair of their loved ones.
Yes. That's what they would do. This opens, but I'm thinking Florence is going to help me.
Sure, please take your time.
Yeah. So basically, yes, you would find keepsakes of a loved one. And,
Yes,
there was a lot of what we call mourning jewelry because
yes.
during the 1800s, people didn't live as long. We had some situations where people, died, living past 50 was basically very lucky, fortunate. So when anybody died, that you would keep a keepsake from them and a heart or a
Absolutely.
locket.
Hmm.
Not everybody's too fond of the hair on the locket when they buy a piece of
Yes,
jewelry today.
yes.
But you can take it out and put your pictures of your own pictures in. But the craftsmanship, the workmanship is so superior back then. Today, unfortunately, it's not cost efficient. It takes too long to make a wonderful quality piece of jewelry. So even the great jewelers today, they can only produce, a handful a year because they're really they're making something that's really art. And
Right.
it's a piece of precious sculpture. And so back then, all these pieces that you find from the past,
Yes,
they really put time and effort to make them. And it's not
it
cost
does.
efficient for them to do today. I think
Absolutely.
she hasn't gotten it open. But
That's fine. Hmm.
so as you move ahead, we also have. Let me just see what else I have. This is also another older piece. You'll see how the craftsmanship, the workmanship. This is a
Wow.
medallion. This is Art Nouveau, and you can
Yes.
see, isn't it spectacular? I don't know if you can see well enough. You see, there is. She even
Wow.
has diamonds in her headband and a diamond necklace
Yes.
on. And this is French, and it's
Fantastic.
also, this is also a locket that you can open. Here, let me show
Wow.
you. But this is Art Nouveau. This is more this 1895 to 1905. I don't know why I have that.
Mm-hmm.
She's got it. She's got it for me. So that's basically previous to the retro period. These are a few pieces. When you get a little later on, you have a lot of the 1950s. Oh, here, this is how you look at this. So when you look at this, you can see it's open.
Lovely.
This
Yes.
is the back side. You can always see a beautiful piece of jewelry is how you see how it's hand done. It's been hand hammered.
Fantastic. Yes, we can see the detailing. Yes.
And then you open up the locket, and you can put a picture inside or
Fantastic.
something, and then it's beautifully made.
And how heavy is this particular pendant?
This isn't too light. This is quite light. It's not too
Okay.
heavy. I mean, it's not. It's probably like medium weight. I'm guessing it's probably like 50 grams, 50
Right.
grams. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's stunning. The work, it's really, this is the kind of work that you don't see today anymore.
And everything has been handcrafted with a lot of love and with a lot of passion.
Absolutely, absolutely. After the 40s, you know, we move into the 1950s, and again, it's more affluent. So gold got heavier. They started using gold also in the 1950s, but with more weight and more heft, and also less geometric, more sort of rounded.
Yes, we can see the transformation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
More
Wow.
rounded curves. Big fascination with space in the 1950s. So you'll find a lot of things related to space, Sputniks, all different designs like globes and Earth and different things, all with the fascination, like rocket ships. Everything was about space. And so there was a lot of jewelry made with that theme. This is just a 50s, but it's again, it's heavier, more diamonds are introduced, more focus on the stones. You know, it was a more affluent time period because it was right after the war and things were starting to pick up and get more lively.
Yes.
They also did a lot of whimsical jewelry, which I think this is spectacular. Here, let me show you this. This is a skier.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a tie pin. So you would tie it into your buttonhole pin, and it's a skier. But I mean, it's really intricate with the rubies, the diamonds, the emeralds.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But they did a lot of whimsical. You'll start seeing in the 50s like little animals and bunnies, and Cartier did a lot of it. Let me show you on the pieces here. Let's see the 50s.
You've actually taken us through the eras and through the different designs so beautifully, from big chunky pieces to something which is less heavy and which has more detailing and more finishing.
Yeah, this is a great example. This is clips with a matching necklace, and this is 1950s. Again, articulated gold work.
Yeah, with great detailing.
Yes, great detailing. Fantastic, the detail of the gold. This is spectacular. This is Boucheron. Well, this is all pieces on the Jeweler's Circle. This is strong, very bold by Boucheron. You see the sapphires and the diamonds accented. Here, their diamonds are set back into platinum again. We're starting to work back in platinum again a little bit. You see the tubagos bracelets, all malleable. It all moves. It's really very stunning piece.
Yes.
Strong and bold.
How much time it must have taken, for example, to make that particular piece, since it's all handcrafted?
I'm sure that must have taken a year. I mean, you know, several months to a year. You know, when it comes to something that's handmade in gold, it takes a long time, especially that of that size. 6 months, I would say, to a year in that period.
Fantastic.
And also to source the rubies, the diamonds, and you know, back then it wasn't as easy as it is now. Now they have a Jeweler's Circle to source them.
Yes, I was just about to say that. I was absolutely about to say that. Well, now we have Jeweler's Circle. That's interesting.
Yeah, and then we go after the 50s. Oh, I have another really great piece. So again, we go whimsical. This is fantastic. So look at this.
Look at that. Yes.
The detail. He's enamel. He's got he's got diamonds. Again, see now you see the difference in the time period, because it's 50s. It's by the way, it's big, it's large. Look how large this is. And it's strong, and it's that you focus as several gemstones. You see on the bottom.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And it moves. It's very clever. But this is, again, we get into the whimsical. They basically started
Wow.
using lots of animals, a lot of, little, what like bunny rabbits. And definitely there's lots of different kind of motifs going on, and enamel work on top of gold, but mixed with lots of different colors, And if you
Wow.
look at the back, it's really good the way everything moves.
Great detailing, and everything is so neatly finished. It's
Yes.
fantastic. And do we see a ruby for the eye of that bird?
Yes. Let's see. Yeah,
Oh,
there it
there you go.
is. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they really put the detail actually to do the enamel work, and it's not so easy you have to basically have, it's a special talent to be able to do enamel. Not everybody has, not every jeweler understands, but I think they did a wonderful job of making the diamond streak through the feathers.
For sure, yes.
Articulated. You see the little lines? It's so hard to
Yes.
this. Yeah, feather. It looks like a feather. They're all basically articulated
Fantastic.
like a feather.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how heavy or light is this particular piece?
This is medium heavy. I wouldn't put this
Okay.
on a silk shirt, but I would definitely put it on a jacket.
Right.
Unless you don't care about your silk shirt. But I mean, I love the scale of it. It's
Yes,
really a statement
absolutely.
piece.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is absolutely a statement piece. Interesting.
So then we also have examples of, here's the Cartier Paperclip bracelet with
Okay.
rubies. This is an
Yes.
old one. They don't make this anymore. So
Okay.
this is the Cartier. Paper clips were a big thing. You've seen with the Chipolo, the nail and bolts, and it's very interesting all the different themes Cartier used.
Fantastic. And do we have the detailing of ruby, is it? Between the links?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
Burma rubies.
The Burma rubies,
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah. This is an older bracelet. You see the back, which is nice. A great piece of jewelry, looks just as good on the back as it does on the front. It's a sign of a good quality piece.
Absolutely.
And this is nice because you can stack this up with several other bracelets.
Yes. So indeed, the Jeweler Circle is one stop destination because we have such variety of jewelry under one category. Like right now, we're just focusing upon the retro era, and you've shown us such beautiful kinds of different types of jewelry, right from 40s to 50s.
Yes. And we have we have more to show you, actually.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so
so
much. We love seeing all these jewelry.
Yeah. So I guess we can move into the 60s, because we did a
Sure.
little bit of 50s, but you'll see
Right.
this Fasano piece. This is a wonderful
Yes.
gold structure, like really, the links are just absolutely fabulous. And you see how it looks almost like they're bent.
Yes, it does.
Beautiful structural piece.
Fantastic.
Fasano. And this is on the Jeweler's Circle also.
Mm-hmm.
A great example also. This is Buccellati, strong. I guess everyone knows. You can see the textured work. That's what
Yes.
they're renowned for. The hand hammered here. And these are
Wow.
rubies. And this is the work. Really, Buccellati is renowned for their intricate work. They're very
Yes.
very fine details.
Yes, absolutely. And we can also see the difference that how gold has evolved from, from diamonds being just one small center motif, but now in the 60s, we can see a lot more diamond.
Yes, absolutely. Stones become more of a
Wow.
feature.
Look at that.
You can really see the detail here.
Yes.
And this is not punched out with a machine. This is hand done. So you can see the
Wow.
spaces in between, almost like a lace.
Yes.
And it's really spectacular.
Fantastic.
And the finish, you can see the gold finish is special. Then we go to
Great detailing.
yeah. So the 60s was the period of love and peace, and yes. 70s changes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So 70s, you find in 1970s jewelry that disco feeling, the bohemian feeling. It was war, the Vietnam War. There were a lot of people that were hippies. So you'll see a lot of this is a Jeweler's Circle. This is a VCA 1970s Mabe pearl necklace, very chic. But
Very chic.
a lot of long 1970s, a lot of long pendant necklaces, long chain
Got it.
necklaces, bold. You find a lot of that kind of hippie-ish, but still very chic. You could see like a lot of patterned dresses, so you would wear a big long chain with it. This is this is a really great example of 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also on the Jeweler's Circle. This is
Yes.
very, this is a rare piece. You just don't find these pieces anymore. They're very difficult to find.
Hmm. And talk to us about the pearls. They look like very big, large size of pearls, and how rare it is to find
Well,
that size of pearls
so
now.
these, to be honest, because it's from the circle, I'm just going to double check. I'm pretty sure these are Mabe pearl. So
Okay,
Mabe
got it.
pearl
Hmm.
is the top of the pearl. They do not have a back.
Got it.
Yeah. So they're basically, what a Mabe is, the top part of the shell of pearl. It's not a
Yes,
full completed pearl. I'm pretty sure this is, yeah, because otherwise,
interesting.
if these pearls were real cultured pearls, it'd be way too heavy.
Absolutely.
And I think it's pretty rare to find pearls of this size. I mean,
Yes.
usually millimeter wise, you get 20 millimeter is like the biggest, and these look like much bigger than that. So these
Yeah.
are definitely Mabe. Yeah.
So you've shown us the jewels in 40s, 50s, 60s, and now the 70s.
Yes.
So which is your favorite piece of jewelry? Talking about retro styling.
Well, 1940s is my favorite. For me, I feel it's a bit of history, and you feel sort of like, I don't know, I always find it very romantic. The time
Hmm.
period, you think of, Ingrid Bergman and Casablanca, and you think of,
Wow.
so I always think of, or these, or you think of these really Hollywood stars, and somehow you feel back with
Absolutely.
these large, very strong gold pieces with different
Yes.
color golds. So I love that. But there's also like the classic, which is, I don't know if I've shown you this.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
That's
this is the Panther. This is the famous Panther ring. Actually, Joan Toussaint from Cartier, she's a woman. She was the
yes,
originator of the Panther. In
yes.
1935, she started with the first Panther jewelry for the line of Cartier. And
Hmm.
the philosophy was, she picked Panther because it's a sign of femininity and about strong, fierce, and independence. And I think that
Right.
was a time period where women were starting to gain strength and independence and still maintain their femininity. So she created the Panther for Cartier. And through all the decades, you find different Panthers and different examples of Panther for the Cartier collection. Now, this one, she basically, the three-dimensional Panther, which you see in the Duchess of Windsor jewelry, that all
Yes.
came in 1945. But the decades, they continued to make this is called from the Lacarta collection. This is probably about 1990. Now, to see the emerald eye,
Beautiful.
it also
Look at
moves a
that.
little bit. It articulates, and it's sorry about that. Let me just do this slowly. It's a real statement piece. Now, it's interesting about the gold. This is a gold ring. Interesting, and I just found out recently is that out of every 100 they make, only one gold is made. So it's basically more rare than the whites. See that they make 100 whites for every one gold that they make in Cartier.
Right.
Lovely how it goes around. This is really right now, it's so hot, Panthers, Cartier. And this you could find also on the Jeweler's Circle. This is a beautiful Panther jewelry, but also from older periods.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that with every 100 pieces of Panther, only one piece is made in gold, right? So it's
Yeah.
absolutely rare. And is this like a very limited edition piece, so which is made in
Well,
gold?
actually, so it's the gold one is more limited. They made more of the white ones. You'll find just on the
Right.
market, there's more white. So the yellow gold is more rare and more unusual.
Fantastic.
I think it's pretty spectacular. And
That's
then
interesting.
we have examples of like my earrings right now. Here, this is these are French. These are also
Okay.
probably like later, like contemporary. But you see the work; it's really beautiful. You sort of see the wave, and it sort of gives
Yes.
a real dimension. So when you wear it on the ear, you see it from all different directions.
Hmm.
The French houses make beautiful jewelry. I'm quite sure that whoever made these earrings made for Van Cleef as well, because it's done exactly the way Van Cleef earrings. And so when you wear it,
Great detailing.
you get a very nice effect
There you go.
from
Yes.
distance. It's very
Yes.
strong, very, very strong. But gold
Interesting.
jewelry is fun. One of my favorites is Bulgari jewelry ring with peridot, which I wear every day. So I'm sorry if I apologize. It's not that clean, but
That's
but
fine.
I like the love shapes, and they used a lot of semi-precious different stones in the
Hmm.
strong definition in
It
the
is
gold part.
indeed a very strong definition, yes.
I like to wear bold. That's what I like. I like the bold jewelry.
And I must say that it absolutely complements your personality also.
I probably should soften up and wear more flowers, huh? But anyway, so that's basically, I can show you one or two, but
Yes, please.
there's some great jewelers today making fabulous gold jewelry. Hand done, it's very rare. Here's another
Okay.
example of a really great necklace.
Yes, great detailing.
See the detail? That again is using
Yes,
two different color golds. This is
yes,
more,
it
this is
is.
1970s. That's a Van Cleef as well. This breaks into two
Fantastic.
bracelets. Here, this is the necklace as one piece.
Beauty of this piece is that how the links and the main portion of the necklace, they both have different textures of gold. One has
Exactly.
detailing and the links are probably of just a plain gold.
It's like a satiny finish, and the other one has more of
Yes,
a matte,
fantastic.
what do you call it? Matte textured. Yeah.
Yes,
Clever. They're using different techniques to make the gold pieces, which I think is
yes.
spectacular. And it's a bold piece as well.
It is a bold piece.
This is Van Cleef. I think Van Cleef is one of the best for yellow gold jewelry. I think they have the strongest of designs in the
Yes.
past.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see the next. And here's, I'll show you some contemporary. Here we go. Here we go. We have again the Panther. This is also on the
Oh,
jewelry
yes.
circle. This is more modern, obviously, but it's very,
Lovely.
very popular right now. And the
Yes.
you know, even though it's you know, we talk about, I've showed you two pieces here right now. They're very hard to acquire. It seems Cartier does not make a ton of them. You know, it's still, if you go into the store, it's not so easy. It's
All
not
right.
just available all the time, especially the larger, more expensive pieces. They're custom order usually. Like the large Panthers and the big brooches, those are usually you have to go and put them on order. They don't make them in every store. You can't just go in and buy one.
So these are again one of a kind rare pieces.
Exactly.
You mentioned that people from the trade are the ones who can buy and trade on the platform. So talk to us, how can the people from the trade contact you and contact your team for any form of transactions or for any form of purchase that they want to invest in?
Okay, so you go to info@jewelercircle.com. You can contact, we have support. We also have I think we have a contact number on the site.
Okay.
And we can speak to someone from our team.
Interesting.
We basically, as long as you're a trade professional, somebody
Okay.
who is selling to we can't allow public. We're trying to keep a protected network of just
Fair
trade
enough.
professionals. That's why it's B2B. But if your credentials are okay, you have, you know, basically have 3 references, and you're a legitimate dealer or retailer or salesperson, you're allowed to come on the network, and it's very easy to source. We have ways of sourcing merchandise on the Jeweler Circle. We have a filter system, so immediately if you're looking for Cartier yellow gold diamond rings,
Interesting.
ding ding ding, just check off. You can also
Nice.
be notified if you or if these pieces are something that you want really seeking out. Every time something gets posted onto the circle, you will receive an email. You can set your preferences that anytime something's posted in the pieces that you're looking for, it'll automatically email you to tell you an alert that yes, your piece has just been posted. There's a Cartier ring on Jeweler Circle today. So it's one great, it's actually a fantastic way of sourcing merchandise. You can set your watch, you can do a watch list. Perhaps you have pieces, you can pull them into your watch list and things that you like. You can keep it, you know, track of it. You can also, very soon we're going to have curated shows, which if you are, for example, Renu, if you saw a bunch of pieces in your watch list and you'd like to show private clients, you can actually show your watch list to your private client without us ever knowing who your client is. You give them a link. They'll come in, they'll look at the pieces, and they'll never know who your source is. So it's kind of a virtual memo consignment.
Very
and
interesting.
I think that's going to change the face of the business, especially when you have somebody in Arkansas looking at a piece from someone in Taiwan. You don't want to spend time shipping it over. Here is a great way that they can actually on a virtual gallery and choose to buy it or not, or if they really like it, have it sent in.
That's really a very interesting platform. And after seeing a variety of gold jewelry, talk to us about the advantage of investing in vintage jewelry.
Well, I think especially, again, going back to what I said earlier, vintage jewelry was made better. They just took the time and the effort into creating these beautiful works of art. It's little pieces of art. And so I think it's a great advantage to be buying and collecting antique and vintage jewelry, especially pieces that you can see are when you really see the intricate work and the definition and the difference of what's being made today. When you see a modern piece of jewelry today, most likely if you turn the back, you'll look at it
Yes.
and it's all punched out by machine. And you could,
Yes.
they
Yes.
usually don't care. They don't finish. So I would always turn a piece of jewelry to the back and see
Absolutely.
so if you're buying something from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, just always look at how it's made. Of course, when you get past the 1970s, a lot of the jewelry is not handmade, but there are still several pieces that are. And so I think you should really look to collect the quality. It's really about the quality. It's about the
Quality.
design. It's
Absolutely.
about the quality of the stones. Going to buy a piece of retro jewelry, you're probably in best interest to make sure it's in perfect condition.
Yes.
I think that's important. Very often they use very thin, the gold was very thin to stretch out because, again,
Yes.
because of the war. They tried to just utilize the gold to use as little as possible of its precious metals, but make it give more of a surface. So
Right.
it's very thin. So sometimes it gets knocked. And so you don't want anything with dents. You want things that are
Yes.
really in pristine
Absolutely.
condition.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to buy
Okay.
from a reputable source, and
Oh,
that's where
that's for sure. Yes.
and going to the jeweler circle, you're lucky because everyone's vetted, and so you have a safe place to shop.
Thinking about the current time, it's been a year of great challenge, for most of us. So what are your advice and inputs about investing in gold, keeping the current situation in mind?
Well, I think it's interesting because I feel, and I think everyone can agree, we've gone through a crazy time period, and there's a huge amount of debt in the world. And when there's all this debt and people owing money, what happens is we end up having inflation. And so
Yes.
any time of inflation, which I suspect is coming very soon, gold always goes up in value. So I feel, and I think it's a good time to invest in gold pieces in general,
Okay.
because I think
Okay.
gold will go up in price. It has to. Anytime that there's inflation, gold goes up. And so we're really due. It's been quite a few decades that they've been holding back the Feds with the interest rates, and I think they're going to have to give in soon. And I think when that happens, gold goes up, and basically all this beautiful jewelry will appreciate.
Absolutely. Well, it's been such an informative and an insightful conversation with you, learning all about the different styles and the design characteristics of jewelry and how the gold jewels have evolved through the decades. So guys, in case if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. We have approximately 10 minutes left with us. We've been conversing for almost 45 minutes and time has just flown by. And you've been in the industry for 3 decades and you are the fifth generation of Paul Fisher. So please talk to us about any piece of advice which has always been very close to you and that you would pass on, to all our audience and to all the jewelry enthusiasts and lovers watching our conversation.
Well, I would say just keep looking. The more you see, the more you educate yourself. And
Right.
I'm 31 years in the business, and I have to say, every day I still learn something. My father, who recently passed away, was 72 years in the industry, and
Wow.
his motto was every day he learns something new, because the more you
Right.
see and the more knowledge you gain. And there's just so much to learn in this industry. I
Absolutely.
think if you go and take a look on the jeweler circle, for example, you will see
Yes.
such a vast variety of different objects, from letter openers to cufflinks, slits to tiaras, to
Nice.
Clique de Jour pieces,
Nice.
to beautiful gemstones, rare gemstones. I think the key is knowledge, and the way to achieve that
Absolutely.
knowledge is to see and to touch and to feel and to look and to learn. And I think the more you, for example, by actually just going on a platform like the Jeweler Circle and studying each piece, you'll learn quite a bit, because it's you don't rarely find in one place a collection like there is on the Jeweler Circle.
Absolutely.
But you can do the same by going to shops and going to shows, exhibitions,
Yes.
which we haven't had in 2 years.
We haven't had.
But where I think they'll start again. And you go to these shows,
Hopefully.
you'll see like Gem Geneva, you'll see extraordinary pieces. We have Las Vegas coming now. But
Yes.
the more you touch, feel, and look, the more you will know and understand jewelry.
Also, a big round of applause to your 31 years career in the industry and for sharing such wonderful insights with all of us, because each insights that you've shared with us has been with so much passion and has been from the heart. And lastly, I have a question. what advice would you like to give to someone who's looking to build a collection, maybe of gold pieces, maybe of gemstones? In general, what advice would you like to give to our viewers?
The number one thing is quality. It's
Right.
very important that when you pick something that's quality if you're going to collect. You can't accept something if it's damaged. You can't accept something
Right.
if it's broken, or not broken is not the right word, but if something's just not up to par, I wouldn't consider it for a collection. It's fun to wear. It'd be great, but I wouldn't consider it if you're building a collection for investment. Really go
Right.
for the best and really choose things. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It's just,
Right.
it's about the, this is not an expensive piece, right? But
Okay. Yes.
it's about the quality. And if the quality's
Absolutely.
there, it's worth collecting. It's something that can't be made again today. It's worth collecting. And there's several pieces that are undervalued right now today. It's remarkable, beautiful little treasures that you could find, just even at a flea market. It's always just look at the craftsmanship, look at the work, make sure the back looks beautiful, make sure it's in pristine condition. And if it touches you in some way, I think, it's also a personal choice. Everyone's taste is different. So I think it's important that if it's something, maybe you have an affinity for cats, or you happen to like, bishop's jewelry, or, who knows? It's just, it's, let it be something that it touches you in some certain way, and also has the quality and the craftsmanship. Craftsmanship is everything. If it's stones, if you're collecting stones, I would make sure that you always have something. Now today, you need to know if it's a certificate to know whether it's original, if it's natural. A lot of the stones being used today are heated and treated, and so it's so important to have, if you're going to build a collection of stones, to have something natural that's not been treated.
And we have lots of words of compliment coming for you. And we have Marcela who's saying that you've aced this conversation. Yes, you have absolutely aced this conversation with all your wonderful insights.
I apologize for the photos.
No, of course not. Of course not. It's all good. It's all good. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully at some of the trade shows, hoping that the international borders open up real soon and we all can meet and we all can touch, feel, and admire all the beautiful pieces which are there on Jewelers Circle.
And in the meantime, you have your virtual trade show on the Jewelers Circle. It's a everyday 24/7 virtual trade show.
Interesting. So with that, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hosting you, and also a lot of gratitude to your entire team. Your entire team has been very cooperative and very supportive. It's Christine, it's Lauren, it's Jen, everybody who's working behind.
Team.
Yes,
my
we do
niece,
have
Christine, Lauren Levy, Jen Williams, Shane. We're very, very fortunate. We have a really nice group. Maria especially.
Here's a big round of applause to all the ladies who've been working so hard to curate this wonderful conversation, and also who are the force behind the Jewelers Circle. So thank you once again, and I look forward to meeting you and seeing all the fantastic pieces in person very soon.
Thank you, Renu. Thank you for having us.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes. Okay. Bye. Thank you.